Привit.
Bonjour.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Morning Brew, Season 1, Episode 35,
Yes.
Yeg Music Production. I am one of your hosts, Marissa Kay.
I'm your other host, Millie Rouge.
And welcome everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. I painted my nails yesterday. I was showing Millie. I don't know if you can see this, I don't know if it'll do the focus thing. Yeah, I'm like a beauty guru. Look at my nails. They're from the drugstore, and I did it with tape.
Hey.
So for those of you who are listening on Spotify, it's basically a pink to dark pink gradient that I did with a makeup sponge. Thank you, Simply Nailogical. And I did it without any kind of liquid latex, so I was very careful with the edges. And then I took some like masking tape, and I put it there, and I put like a little diagonal stripe of blue, and then added my glitter polish on top, and it was actually like so much fun to do. And now I love my nails.
Yeah, a lot of good times.
I never do my nails ever, so it's nice when I can. And I mean, like my nail, I never let my nails get this long, so I'm like basking in it right now.
Loving it. Yeah.
They literally never look this good ever, and that's saying something because they don't look that great. So.
Did you ever do that thing where you would put like nail polish droplets into water, and then
water marbling?
Yeah, and you like swirl it around and stick your finger in and take it out?
I tried. I don't know how to do it properly. I know that there's like ways you can cheat it, but like
I don't know if it ever really stays very well. I don't remember doing it. I just remember like the process of setting it up, but I don't ever remember what it looked like.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it probably didn't look good.
I think I tried doing it once, and it just like got all over my finger and like none on my nail. I know that there's ways you can cheat it. Like you can make like little stickers, I guess. Like if you like let it dry enough, and then you can just like peel it off like a yogurt lid, and then cut it to your nail and like stick it onto your nail.
Whoa!
And then just like use like acetone to like melt it to your fingernail, which is like kind of cool.
That's fancy.
That's the Simply Nailogical again. I've been watching a lot of her videos. She's just really funny.
Inspiration.
Yes, I watch a lot of YouTubers, and I go on like binges for certain YouTubers, and I've been watching like way too many of her videos recently, but mostly just because she's Canadian, and I find that she's really funny.
Is she Canadian? That's cool.
Yeah, she's Canadian. Actually, David's Tea had like some sort of promotion for her at one point because like she always like talks about tea and how much she loves tea.
That's sweet.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, it's cool. I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
I was gonna say 404, file not found.
Yeah. Error. Something about surprisingly, during this quarantine time, I feel like at the beginning I was watching like a lot of YouTube, but then now as it comes, I'm just like, and I have the time to do it. That's not the issue. I just won't do it. And I'm like just not interested in the videos that are posted. And most of them normally I would find interesting, but I think I used to watch them like at the end of the day, and I'd be like, a new video, and after like working, I'd be like, I can watch it. But now I don't know why. It's just like I'm not interested. I don't know. I don't want to watch it. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like for me it's like I said, I go through like binge episodes of like I'll like be really, really into one YouTube channel, and then I just like will stop watching YouTube for like a couple days, and then I'll just get back into it. And I never watch a bunch of different YouTube videos. I always watch like the same YouTube video. So that's kind of
the same YouTuber.
Yeah, most of the time. Like I'm really I like watching Danny Gonzalez. I just think he's really funny.
Yeah.
But then I'll go to Simply Nailogical and watch a couple videos, and then I'll go to like just like more like movie reviewers. I don't know. I really like movie reviewers. I think they're
pretty
really fun.
Actually.
Yeah. So yeah. And I don't know. YouTube is just like fun to kind of dabble in every now and then. So
yeah, when you have the extra time.
Sorry, also you can't see it right now, but Dexter is literally at my knee right now.
Oh, of course he is.
He's really hard
star of the show.
It's so hard to ignore him when he comes up to me. He's like,
I know.
Pet me.
He's like, please
on my
love
head,
me.
please. And he'll like stick it right on my right on my knee, and he's like, I know you're recording, but can you give me a pet, please?
Speaking of
How are you
You
gonna get
know,
into this one? How are you gonna get
I'm
into
not going
this
to.
one?
Speaking of cute things, let's talk about Hayley Williams. It's the best I could do. I
I
really
was
had
gonna
no
say,
other
speaking of
time.
great vocalists, um,
Speaking of YouTube and things I've listened to, well, it wasn't on YouTube, so that's not a good time. Anyways, the topic of the day.
I was gonna say that Hayley Williams and Dexter both have being a good vocalist in common. But anyway.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Speaking
But
of
yes,
howlers, yeah. Today we are actually, our topic of the day is to talk about the brand new Hayley Williams album, which before
Petals
this
for
topic
Armor.
was assigned, yeah, I didn't know that this album was released. So, Petals for Armor, which is an interesting name.
Yeah.
I don't know if the name gives the album justice, because when I heard that name, I kind of assumed it would be like a bit on the heavier side, which it really wasn't really.
No, it was actually like surprisingly subtle,
Mm-hmm.
based on what I know about Hayley Williams and Paramore and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess like because the only song I heard up until this point, because I've been meaning to listen to the album anyway, just because like I heard when I first heard it come out before the pandemic started. Oh God, it felt like
Yes.
forever ago, like so
Yeah.
long ago. I was driving to work one day,
6
and it
years
just yeah, 6 years ago. It was either 3 months ago or 6 years
Yeah.
ago. And I was driving to work, and it kind of came up on Sonic. They're like, yeah, the new Hayley Williams album, and we're gonna play Simmer Down. And I was like, oh, okay. And I remember like being super super into this. I was like, oh God, I gotta check out that album, and then I just forgot. So yeah, this album is it surprised me, because I know that when they post, or not post, but when they play certain songs from an album on the radio, they pick like
Yeah.
the high energy ones, like for Half Moon Run it was She Wants to Know or Call Me in the Afternoon, like the really catchy ones, but they're normally like a really kind of chill vibe kind of band. Or even with like, sorry, I'm just going to keep listing people that I like. My Chemical Romance, when like True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys came out, they played Na Na Na, and then the rest of the album was like super dope, but it wasn't like radio.
Yeah.
Like
Not the
people
same.
wouldn't like those songs on the radio. They like Na Na Na, but
Yeah.
this is probably not my favorite one on the album. But anyway, that's another topic. But
Yeah.
but the Hayley Williams song, the Simmer Down one, was like probably the most boppy out of the entire album.
Yeah.
Which is still kind of moody.
Honestly, what I did when I was listening to the album is I wrote like certain comments of things I just noticed. But I didn't really write about any songs I didn't like, because they were all fairly decent. But I just wrote the songs that I really did enjoy. But I didn't write Simmer, so I can't remember in the top of my head right now what it sounds like. But
Simmer Down.
Okay. Yeah.
Something like that, if I remember correctly. I don't know.
That's familiar.
I just remember that was just like a fun one. And
yeah.
One thing I noticed about a lot of the songs was that it actually starts with her vocals. Like it starts right on the either right on the dot with her vocals, or like has like a couple seconds intro, and then there's a couple songs that have 20 to 30 second intros. But for the most part, I noticed that was just like a weird thing that I noticed, that the majority of the songs started with her vocals.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, which is like not something you normally hear in I guess in pop radio or pop culture, I guess.
I don't know if this album would be considered
no, not at all. It's definitely more alternative for sure.
Alternative, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think myself, I was like, okay, this is kind of like, she comes from a lot of like I don't know what background you would consider Paramore, but like a punk background, I guess.
Yeah, like maybe pop punk, or like.
Yeah. So now this is kind of, I think it really morphed into like alternative, because some songs were very, like you said, kind of like upbeat and like, woo, this is super poppy. But some of them I was like, what is going on? And that's anytime I listen to alternative, that's what I always think is, what is going on?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
so much.
Yeah, fair enough. But it was just some of it was really cool. Like I liked some of her vocal lines that she kind of worked in there, and like they were not very like predictable sometimes, or like she would just go in a completely different direction than I was expecting. And it's funny because she's like, obviously you and I know that she's like an insane singer. Like she has incredible pipes. And the fact that she was so, like, I don't want to say held back, but she was just so like
chill,
minimalistic, I guess, in her style for this album. which I actually kind of really enjoyed because, and this is a thing that I notice, and a thing that I think about a lot, specifically just as like a music teacher, because I know a lot of my students will ask me to do songs, or ask me to help them learn songs that the vocal lines aren't very difficult. Like they're pretty easy, like, you know, Billie Eilish or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you listen to Billie Eilish sing it, or someone like Hayley Williams sing a very simple line, there's so much more behind that simple line than you actually realize. It's not just singing the notes. It's like everything behind it. It's like this,
It's like calculated.
it's like almost like an indescribable quality of just like the way that she sings a certain line. It's not going to be the same if you just try to sing it just like
Yourself.
note for note. Yeah. Like there's an extra little bit of like
spice.
I don't know what the word is. I'm doing this with my hand. This is the thing. There's an extra little bit of this going behind it. So that was one of the things I really appreciated about this album, was her commitment to subtlety, but also it's still clearly showcasing her ability as a vocalist.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
When I first listened to the first couple songs, I got a huge influence of Madonna. I heard a lot of focus on harmonies, which I was like, oh, I wonder if Marissa's noticing the same things, because she would do a lot of like 3-part harmony, a lot of just harmonies anywhere really, and really cool like harmonies that it sounds like she kind of made up herself. And yeah, and then I guess I kind of just wrote more like specific notes about each song. But yeah, I got a huge like 80s feel and like a Madonna feel. In like most of the songs, most of them had that kind of like bit to them. There was one song though, Sudden Desire.
Yeah,
that one was the only one that reminded me of the old Paramore style, just because of the super high belt notes. And I was like, oh, there's Hayley, like there she is, right? But everything else was super like do 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 do, just like very like just coasting, you know. But I noticed in that one song, the Sudden Desire, I was like, oh yeah, this sounds like something that could go off of like a Paramore Paramore album. But I think in total from that entire album that I did listen to, I downloaded 2 songs to my personal library. And not every single, you know, album that we do review, I don't always save all the songs. Like on Drake, I think I saved 1 of them or 2 of them. But like I found with Hayley's, there's like a few that I was like, yeah, I would listen to these on my own time. Like, so I really enjoyed a lot of it.
Yeah, there's just like, and it's funny because like even the production behind the songs too was very subtle in itself. Like the whole album felt like a minimalist album. I don't know if that makes any sense, but just everything behind it seemed like very minimalist. And then of course on the bigger songs like Sudden Desire, Simmer Down, that was like a little bit more heavy and a little bit more like more to it. But yeah, I don't remember which songs I downloaded, to be honest. I have to go back and look at my playlist, because I just think like I just kind of I blindly click is what I do. Yeah, it was definitely not what I was expecting it to be. Like when I think of Hayley Williams and I think of, you know, the title Petals for Armor, like like kind of like you, I expected something a little bit heavier and a little bit more like intense. But I guess some of it was kind of intense in a different way. Like lyrically, I'd say there was a lot of intensity for sure. Yeah, and it was very, very simple stuff too that she mentioned in some of her songs.
Right. Well, there's actually one song that you kind of, to go off what you kind of mentioned. So it was the song Why We Ever. So when it started, it has this very like 80s dance prom song type of feel that you would like imagine in the 80s, and you put on your big dress and you're like, I'm going to the dance with Richie.
Richie.
And then you get there and you're like, and then the Paramore song comes on, you do, you know, your classic like that kind of slow dancing. Dance, so that's like immediately what went to my mind. But then in the middle of the song, it had this super cool breakdown, which reminded me of like a Bon Iver piano breakdown. And it was like suddenly such a chill, like the song was pretty chill already, but it was like a very like emotional bit where I was like, I feel like this is you feeling right here in this little piano breakdown. And it was so cool. I was just like, I love that. Like, and I didn't expect it coming. Like when it broke down, I was kind of like taken off guard. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But I would never have expected her to shift with that into that song. So I thought that was really cool to see kind of the more emotional side of it and the more intensity when she breaks things down. And
and I really appreciated the raw emotion in this album, because I don't want to say it's not there anymore for people, but like some of the time with some new albums that come out, like I won't say exactly like which artists, because some of them are very like emotionally driven and stuff, but there's some more albums that are more just like, it's very clearly made for the radio. Like they clearly wrote it to be on the radio.
Or for it to be like their fourth album, they just have to get over to get to their next album,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And this didn't feel like this didn't feel like a filler album. This felt like in the best possible way a self-indulgent album, and I love it when artists do that, when they're just like, you know what, I'm gonna feel what I'm feeling, this is what I'm feeling, you're gonna listen to it, and like I really, really appreciate that. And it felt, this whole album felt like a passion project.
Well, is this her first album after, not like, I think she's still in Paramore, but like one of her first albums on her own?
That is a really good question. I honestly don't know.
I think it is.
I have no idea. I'd have to look that up. I'm honestly not sure.
But something else to consider, I'm pretty sure that it is, but I'm not 100% sure. But Hayley Williams recently, well, I don't know if it's that recently, but fairly recently went through a divorce. So, and I think she was married for like a very, very long time. So when I listened to this album, I kind of remember that. And I was listening to some of the lyrics and I was like, yeah, like I can tell that was something you were going through, and like you're writing about it, and you seem pretty open about that experience, right?
Well, and actually, sorry, I'm looking at it too. Death in the Park is another one that she released in 2010. Red Hot R&B 2011. Empo 6.
Is it by herself?
Yeah, I think so. So I'm just looking up Hayley Williams albums. That's what it looks like. So
interesting.
I have to check those ones out too to actually like compare and contrast. But it's I really, really enjoyed this album. I think that I'm probably going to be listening to it again, and more closely and more frequently.
Totally.
It's just I think it's a really well put together album, and I appreciate the subtlety in it, because not oftentimes, but like sometimes you just need that little bit of just like smallness, I guess. Like it's for the same reason I like An Awesome Wave by Alt J. Like I love that whole album. So I love it for similar reasons, because that one is also very minimalist, but then there's like some heavy stuff in there. And then same thing with the Hayley Williams album, which is why I was kind of like, I was drawing comparisons between those two. I was like, oh, this sounds like an Alt J song. And I just thought it was really, really cool.
Yeah, I actually, I agree. I think a lot of it is really, really cool that she's kind of written. I think it's one of her more stronger albums. I read an article, I think, that said her next Paramore album that she's going to be doing, they actually want to go more back to like their older roots, which I thought was pretty cool. Because I know her recent album, I think it was the last album with them. Yeah, she did like Ain't It Fun? Like that one was super, I guess you call it like electro pop, kind of is what it felt like. So I think that'll be really interesting to see. I think some of my favorite songs from the album that I wrote down, the song Taken was one of my favorite songs. It had a really cool vocal tone that I feel like I've never heard from Hayley before. So like the whole album was pretty similar, but when I listened to that song, I was like, this doesn't sound like the same artist, but I know it's her. But like, and I kind of for a second was like, I actually looked at my phone and I was like, is this a feature? Like, is there someone else singing? But it was just straight up her. So I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then Watch Me While I Bloom. I just thought it was like a super fun, just like boppy song that she kind of wrote.
Yeah.
And then Sudden Desire, I kind of talked about that, how it had that Paramore feel, and the Why We Ever, which was the 80s kind of dance prom song that worked into that breakdown of the piano, I really liked. And then again, the song Over Yet, I thought it was just another 80s Madonna anthem, which I thought, I don't know, I'd be interested to see if like asking her, you know, Hayley Williams straight up being like, hey, do you like Madonna? Like, there's some inspiration there, because I just felt like a lot of it just sounded like very similar to that kind of genre style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
I'd say if I had to pick a favorite song on the album for me, I really like Simmer. I'm gonna say that. I love Sudden Desire, and funnily enough, I also really loved Cinnamon.
Yeah, that one was interesting.
Yeah,
I was kind of like
why I
mixed
like
feelings
that one.
about it, but I could see why.
I was drawn to that one. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know. It was just like such a, I don't know. It stuck out to me. I don't know why. There's just something about it. It had this going on. I don't know.
Well, then there's that one song about the title's like 3 different flowers, but I wasn't a huge fan of that. Like, it was a decent song, but I was just kind of like, yeah, it's okay. But there's other ones that really shined out for me, I think, over that song in comparison. But that's really cool.
Really, really great album. What grade would you give this album?
Yeah, I was just gonna say we should give it a grade. I think I would give it just an A. So not an A minus, not an A plus, just an A. Not that an A is a bad thing, but just a letter grade A.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Either A or A minus, I'd say.
I was gonna say A minus, but
yeah.
I think so negative to say A minus.
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing.
I mean, like, I'm sure Hayley Williams is gonna watch this and say, "What? How dare they give my album an A minus?" I'm sure she's gonna be very upset when she hears about the 2 artists from Edmonton who talk about her album.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just, this is our personal opinion. It's just us talking about an album.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely recommend checking out this album for sure.
Totally.
And just like not doing anything else, just like sitting down and listening to it.
Yeah. If you're a Paramore fan or Hayley Williams fan, you'll enjoy this album, I think.
Or a fan of good vocals.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was making supper when I listened to this album. So as long as it's a low activity thing that you're doing, I think it's a good time to listen to the album.
Oh yeah. Or like doing your makeup in the morning or whatever.
Yeah. Something very calming and you're not thinking too much about it. But yeah. So those are our grades for the Hayley Williams album. Can you say the title again?
Petals for Armor.
Petals for Armor. Sorry, I was going to say something completely different. So I'm glad you clarified. Thank you guys for watching. My name's Millie Rouge.
And I'm Marissa Kay. And make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified when these shows come out. They come out daily, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. MBT every day. Grab a coffee, join us. And, you know, if you're on Spotify, give us a little follow, give us a little like. And I mean, I don't know, toss us your album recommendations. I don't know.
Give us something to talk about. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Have a happy Friday.
Bye.
Bye.